What up? What up? What up? What up? It's Real Talk with Rich. Greetings, everybody. Back here one more again. Black comic lords, black superheroes forever in the building, as always. And as you see, I got my man, 100 Grand, the Chief Dondada Paul, joining with me tonight. We got a dope show. Gonna get to it. We don't want to delay the time. Before we get to that, those shenanigans, I want to ask my brother, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for inviting me on the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's no doubt. So yeah, so let's I don't want to get into the show just yet. Just want to I don't know if Mercury is in retrograde. I don't know if is Slewfoot lurking in the background, or somebody burning some bad sage. I don't know what's going on. The world is truly on its backside. So last time we did a show, we didn't. A president or former president, might be future president, got shot at. We had that, so it's kind of like that's just like the tip of the iceberg. So it's just a lot of stuff going on, man. Found out, rest in peace to Shannon Doherty. She passed away. Who else?
Richard Simmons.
Jacoby Jones, former wide receiver for the Houston Texans and for the Baltimore Ravens, passed away as well. It's just a lot of stuff going on. And that's the stuff we can talk about. We got stuff that we can't talk about. And
Can't is a strong word.
I'm gonna just say this. I am very, very. I have learned to have a healthy respect for who I am, and what I mean by that is this: I do not take myself seriously. I'm a serious cat, but I don't take myself too seriously. And when certain things come our way, especially as older men, me and Paul are in our 50s, and there are games we play as 50-year-old men. We might play some Madden, we might play some GTA, we might play some Spades, we might play some Pinochle. But our days of playing Pity Pat and Go Fish are over. And I would just simply say that, we have a healthy sense of humor, and we enjoy our fandom. But there are things that go on in our fandom that we could do without. And so the last couple of days has been a kind of it's been interesting, needless to say. And one of the things I had, my man had to kind of remind me, and that we kind of like, we're above a lot of stuff. We really are, you know what I'm saying? And I have to remind myself that, because I want to be petty.
Richard Petty.
Richard Petty, race car driver. I want to be petty. But I have to also recognize, who I am, where I am, what I represent, and those kind of things. And as long as you represent well, all this other stuff will fall off of you, and it rolls off your back like a duck with water. So tonight, later on, we're going to talk about the hobby and how to get over fatigue. And the thing is all of us experience fatigue, but how we handle it and what we do in response of it is something totally different. So we're going to talk about that later on tonight. But, it's just crazy. The world is crazy. You know what? And we talked about it on our first shows of the year. Cat Williams, I blame Cat Williams. Cat Williams has got a lot of people walking around here with mas grandes. I have never seen so many people, Paul, with stones. I mean, the stones for some people, I tell you. it's funny, you know what I'm saying? And we kind of like, nah. And then we look again and be like, yeah. We have to keep a smile on our face. And, you know, we recognize that we're doing something special in this space. And when you do stuff that's special in this space, people gonna love you for it, people gonna hate you for it. People gonna dislike you for it, people wish they would, they were you. All kinds of stuff goes on. And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, guys. Those that know us behind the scenes and personally will tell you that we're some solid brothers. We not, we don't do no sucker stuff. We don't participate in no foolishness. You know what I'm saying? We're very serious. Paul's a lawyer. I am a pastor. We ain't got time. We can't got time to play with some of y'all. But y'all keep trying to play with us. Y'all stop. Okay? I just want to get back to comic. Remember when comic book heads were talked about comics, Paul? Remember the good old days?
Yeah. Yeah. Like when we first started Black Comic Lords.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure it out, man. I just look, we come in peace. We come in peace and we're gonna keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? I salute all of my brethren that are here with us tonight. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the chat. Robert Monroe, Pericles, Rob's Comics, what up? Brooklyn, as always, King Sigma. Smooth Approach, 1 in 100. Mighty Mister. Yep, see you, Dot Verse. Appreciate you. Please hit the like button. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're going to go ahead and do a show. But I just kind of wanted to, go ahead, Paul. I know you got something you want to say. Go on and say it, bro.
You kind of opened the door, man. I mean, I can't, not peek my head in after you open the door.
Oh, go ahead.
I will say this. Well, first of all, shout out to Bo Big with the super chat.
Shout out for the super chat. Yeah, that's what's up.
I sent you a package. You should get it Monday, just so you know, Bo Big. But with that, why am I doing this? Where's our producer? Is he in a bathroom break?
I don't know.
This guy. All right. Well. Derek was out getting some coffee, it looks like. He's all right, so here's the thing. Boy, I'm trying to say stuff. I like Rich, I'm trying to prevent myself from being petty. Because it's just not necessary. It particularly when things happen that literally make zero sense.
Zero.
And they have no basis in reality. And your attitude is, this is what's presented. Here's what the resume says. This is what's presented. Here's what the resume says. People can say anything.
Yep.
But, at the end of the day, you got to judge things based on what the evidence presents.
That part. Mm-hmm.
Not what someone says. And you simply take their word for it. But beyond all of that, I just, let me do the Michelle Obama and take the high road. I want to talk to the people that actually matter to us, and that's all of you. All of you who watch us, all of you who rock with us, support us. I've said this before, and I think sometimes it gets lost in the mix. So you guys think it's lip service. It really isn't. Black Comic Lords started with me, Rich, and Herschel talking on Sunday nights, just chopping it up.
Chopping it up.
About comics. That's it. Three dudes just talking about comics. Characters we liked, creators we liked, books we liked, storylines we liked. That's it. And at our core, let me let you in on a little secret. That's still what's most important to us. And if you look at most of the time that we spend talking to each other, that's still the majority of what we talk about.
Yep.
This isn't a job.
Yeah.
Getting paid for this. The money that we get goes to keep the channel going, but we ain't pocketing that. We do this because we want to, not because we have to. Purely for the fun of it, for the love of the culture, for love of comic books. And the thing is, Black Comic Lords isn't, us. It's all of y'all. Black Comic Lords is just a platform, right?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
We have a Facebook page, Twitter page, YouTube page, TikTok, Instagram. Just a platform where we can, where all of us can get together, share our love for the fandom, talk about comics, talk about characters, talk about dope creators that don't get enough shine, and have our own space to do that. That's it. If you're reading into it more than that, you kind of reach it. But at the end of the day, that's the core of what we are. What did Joe Elledge call us? The nexus of comic book realities, Black comic book realities. That sounds very haughty, but it's true for us. We just wanted to have a nexus point where all of us in the culture can feel free to just vibe and share with each other about our love for these characters and these creators. And that's, in the essence, all we want to be. There are other things we could do. There are other things we could talk about and probably get a lot more clicks and likes, but this is what we are and this is what we want to do. And you guys who are watching us, who stay watching us, I think you get that. But I just want to make sure that you all know that it's about all of you as well. And we appreciate you. That's it. No pettiness.
No drama. No shade.
It's not necessary.
No, not at all. And here's the thing, I like my man's comment, the mighty Mr. J. So I feel like I'm missing T, but let me not be messy. No, it's the thing about that. See, some stuff is just it's not worth the energy. It's kind of like you have to at some point look at what you do, and as Paul said, just check out the resume. Or better yet, follow one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time and what they said. They said, check the rhyme. Check the rhyme, y'all. Check the resume. You can Google us. We can say that. That's no cap. You can Google Black Comic Lords. And what we do is what we've done, it speaks for itself. And here's the thing. We don't brag. We don't boast. We don't do none of that. We let y'all do that for us. But we don't. We don't. We have no ego in this situation to bruise. It's simply to say that, you know what? We do what we do, but when people try to say that we're not something, it rubs us the wrong way, and we have to sometimes say, no, that's not who we are. We got a website. We got a YouTube channel. We have social media presence on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook. It's what we do. And we're not just some dudes that just running our mouths. No, we really do this. We really believe in this. And it's a thankless job. And some days, you know what I'm saying, we know that we don't get the appreciation that we should. But it's cool because we don't do it for clicks and likes. We don't do it for all these different things. Because here's the thing. I think that your passion will get you through the door when your finances or anything, tangible won't. We've been able to do this by the skin of our teeth, duct tape and prayers, and just like you say, a cell phone and talking on Sunday nights. That's how this movement started.
Yeah.
So, again, we just being us. We just doing and trying to provide a service. You know what I'm saying? Because again, our whole purpose is to speak on, educate, lift up. You know what I'm saying? Creators, art, characters, because they don't get the shine. They don't get the, and you can say a whole lot about Black comic lords, but what you won't be able to say about Black comic lords is that we didn't try, that we didn't make an honest effort, that we don't really do. We really do this. We really believe in this. We really, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's one of those things where, our work speaks for itself. So when people question that, it's kind of like, okay, you don't really know it's like that. Because if you did, people wouldn't be so bold to think certain things.
And the work certainly doesn't show certain things that people may espouse.
Yeah, and that's what hurts more than anything. It's like, man, you be on a mountain and somebody just wants to just pull a rock from up under you. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
this is y'all platform. This ain't ours. What are you doing?
One thing that I can promise you in Black Comic Lords, we may joke about certain people, certain writer who will not be named, but for the most part, one thing I can promise that we will never do is try to tear down other Black folk who are into the same thing. That's counterproductive to the concept of what we are. We're about having a space where we can all vibe with each other, where we recognize that, like when Rich and I were kids, we ain't had stuff like this. We didn't have a space where we could kick it with other Black people and talk about comic books, strongly, proudly, patiently, emphatically. It didn't exist. So if anything, this is like our 12-year-old dreams, this moment in time and the space that we have that, we told that curating. We curate the space for everybody. So it's counterproductive for us to throw rocks at other people trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then hide our hands and run away. Because you don't want to talk about it. It's cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep doing what we do.
That's what's up.
We believe in what we're doing.
Absolutely. So anyway, that's enough of that. But we felt like we needed to kind of say something, because again, it's kind of like, we need to clear the room so now we can have a real show.
Now we can have a real show.
A real talking real show. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get into our first segment of the show tonight, Low Hanging Fruit. That's a segment of our show where we talk about the news and things of that nature. All related to comics, by the way. So our first article up this day is a Hollywood Reporter article. And if you've been under a rock, you know that Captain America #4 is out. Well, not out, but the trailer came out. Captain America Brave World Order trailer draws controversy over Israeli character. Here's the thing. Shira Haas' character originally was a Mossad agent in the comics, but is now a U.S. government official. Nonetheless, some are calling for a boycott of the film. The film stars, film stars Anthony Mackie as Captain America and Harrison Ford making his Marvel Studios debut, taking over the role of U.S. President Thaddeus Ross from the late William Hurt. The first trailer was released early on Friday and is overall winning rave reviews from fans. But a supporting character seems destined to inadvertently lightning rod. There are calls to boycott the film sight unseen. Emmy nominee Shira Haas plays Ruth Bat-Seraph, an Israeli former Black widow who is now a high-ranking U.S. government official. The character's backlash stems from her original incarnation in the comics. Ruth was formerly known as Sabra,
Yeah,
who served
Sabra.
as Sabra, okay, who served as a Mossad agent. Those who are pro-Israel have an issue with changing the character's allegiance to the U.S. agency, while those who are anti-Israel are protesting the character due to her roots, or in some cases, simply because she's Israeli. The situation of course, is complicated and rife with misinformation. Some are assuming the character's name and backstory were changed due to recent events, and some are calling for a boycott that don't seem to realize her backstory hasn't been changed at all. There are also many who don't realize that the character's been changed, but say it doesn't matter. The switch actually dates back to 2022 when Marvel announced their D23 Expo that Haas was joining the MCU. And at the time, a Palestinian campaign for academic and cultural boycott of Israel slammed the decision, decrying the original comics' ugly racism and the valorization of Mossad are sickening. At the time, the studio made it clear that the character's backstory would be changed on the matter. And while our characters and stories, this is Marvel saying this, are inspired by the comics, they are always freshly imagined for screen in today's audience. And filmmakers are taking a new approach with the character, Sabra, who was first introduced in the comics over 40 years ago. Sometimes Marvel updates its characters to reflect the modern times. Let's look at Benedict Wong's Doctor Strange character. It was created in 1963, but the character has been embraced in an updated movie incarnation. And Captain America #4, the name Sabra will not be used. The character first appeared in The Incredible Hulk in a comic book in 1980, and she wore a blue and white outfit featuring the star David. She was dubbed the first Israeli superheroine and was an important fixture in Marvel Comic Universe despite never having her own series. Okay.
She was a mutant too.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about this, right? Trailer comes out and people just lose their mind all over the place, Paul.
For various reasons, though.
For various reasons. Absolutely. And here's the thing. I understand both sides. I understand really both sides. And the thought is, okay, well, and here's the thing. When we first don't like something, the first thing that we want to scream is boycott. So I'm like, okay, y'all, what y'all gonna do? Are y'all gonna go to the theaters or not? And look, in my humble opinion, if an issue like this was going to be an issue, right, then most of y'all would not have gone to go see The Flash. You know what I'm saying? There were people calling for boycotts of that film. There's a reason to boycott almost every film. There is. And nobody, quote unquote, is perfect. And Marvel, for their credit or whatever, you know what I'm saying, putting this character in there, I don't necessarily think that they were really. Sometimes Marvel can be tone deaf, and sometimes Marvel will just do something because they want to bring in certain characters. They just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure if they knew that this was going to be polarizing as it is, they might not even gone forward, with this in the trailer, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like if they thought it was going to be a problem, they wouldn't have even showed this character on screen. People would have had to go to the theaters to see and notice that this was a character that, it seems to me, and it's just me, and I'm going to ask you, Paul, do you think that this was locked and loaded? Because this is very early to boycott, to call for a boycott of a movie that isn't coming out to 2025. And that's the other thing too. You're calling for boycotts, but by the time that movie rolls around, most of the people that you're asking to boycott are going to either forget about it and then go see the film, or they just, it's not going to have that same weight. So, I mean, bro, what's your thoughts about this?
This article is nothing new. Like there has been rumors that Sabra was going to be on this film for a while. People were already taking issue with that, or on both sides of it. Some people were excited about it because they're like, well, look, that would mean you're really going to have a full-blown mutant in the MCU, which is kind of cool. The Israeli angle, I think, because this film's been in the works for a long time, the Israeli angle of objection is a more recent occurrence based on what's going on on the Gaza Strip right now and in Palestine. So, I mean, yeah, anything involving either Palestine or Israel is going to be a hot topic. Depending on what side of the fence you lean on, you're going to object. Does it make sense for Disney to change her background and instead of making her a Mossad agent, make her a CIA agent? Well, yeah. At the end of the day, they're trying to make money, and they don't want to offend, half the viewership if they're going to object to having a Mossad agent in the film. That makes sense. Whether you agree, depending on what side of the fence you're on the topic, but at the end of the day, logically speaking, that would make sense. If you want to be super technical, the CIA often employs people of different national origins. That's a fact. So that's not a weird thing for them to do. They usually employ people. It's not unusual for them to employ people of different national origins, particularly for undercover work. That's where spies come from. So changing stories to suit because of the times is also not new to this franchise specifically, because in the Falcon and Winter Soldier television series, they were originally supposed to have a storyline that was about a global pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and then they changed the story because they didn't want to touch upon the fact that over 100,000 people died. People might be sensitive about that, so you might want to change the storyline for Falcon and Winter Soldier. So this is nothing new. This is nothing new. I think we have this cancel culture that we live in nowadays, where people want to boycott things and cancel stuff before it even comes out or even more information comes out. I mean, look, if you don't want to see the film, don't see the film. That's as simple as that. No one has to force anyone to see anything. What I have problems with is sometimes kind of saying, well, if I don't want to see this because of my beliefs, all of you don't need to see it either. Or else I'm canceling you too. Or I think you're X because you went to go see a movie. A movie. Like, is that what we're doing?
That what we doing?
Your dollars went to support. Okay, but it's a movie.
I mean, look, this 2025 or 2024 activism, y'all are a joke. I'm gonna just call it out. Just say y'all a joke, because again, we are able to sit in theaters and enjoy movies and things like this because of our peoples in the 60s and 50s and 40s getting dogs sick on them and fire hoses. But now you Negroes is
a superhero movie.
Yeah, you Negroes is reduced to protesting over superhero movies.
With black people.
I just don't understand y'all. I just do not understand. It's these new Negroes. Y'all, and some of you old Negroes. You gotta stop. Let's think clearly. We need to have a clear thought about this. I just do not understand. But okay, y'all do what y'all do. Y'all do what y'all do. But I mean, I just think that it's unfortunate. And here's the thing. Here's where I am at with it, Paul. When they put that nonsense on Netflix, The Good Times, and where was y'all out? All of y'all that's talking about boycott this film because of this reason, and you saw how black people were depicted. Where was all that energy? What was all that energy? So y'all kind of, y'all looking real, like my man Riley say from the Boondocks. You, granddad, you looking real unfamiliar.
I got a question for you, Rich. All this money that is being saved by boycotting various things, are you taking that extra cash and donating it to a political action committee to support something that actually makes a difference in things? Ask my question.
Yeah.
Look, there are things that people can find questionable, and because let me be clear, because I know certain people may watch this and use this as to make little clips and critiques about Black Comic Lord said this. First of all, Black Comic Lords, again, platform. This is Paul talking. You want to call me out by name, call me out by name, but don't call me out for something I ain't never said, because there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
But I digress. There's a lot of things I do wrong that I should be held accountable for, but I refuse to be held accountable for things I ain't never said or did. You know, there are things that you can object to. Like, obviously, you know, y'all know my feelings on Wakanda Forever.
Hmm?
I mean, there's a whole laundry list of things I could object to. Even in this film. The fact that Sam Wilson is Captain America, not Falcon. I wanted a Falcon movie. I don't need Captain America Sam. I want Falcon. Falcon's good enough.
Yep.
Sam Wilson is good enough.
Good enough.
So why don't we object to that? Where's that storyline? Why aren't we boycotting the film because this should be Falcon, not Captain America?
I just have a problem, Paul, going to a civil rights organization like, say, I don't know, the Urban League.
Yeah.
And going in the door and with a straight face say, I want y'all to boycott. I want y'all to help us boycott this film, or this, that, the other, with a straight face.
With the black superhero in it?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I would have loved to see a black superhero movie. He got a Latino, he got a brown partner too?
Yeah.
What?
And again, you know,
Misty Knight's in the movie?
Yeah. I mean, look, you do what y'all going to do. You know, if y'all want to boycott, go ahead and boycott. I'm probably gonna go see the film, and because again, you know, we both want original characters in these films. Let's just be clear. But we're not gonna miss out on black people on screen. We scream that we want black people on screen, and then we'll, you know, but not like this or that was different. Like old boy saying Friday. No. We're not gonna do that. We rooting for everybody black. We're going the Issa Rae way of things. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can trip about this, that, and the third or whatever, you know, but it's one of those things where, you know, I have a problem with black people wanting us to be black when it's convenient for them.
Right. Are you gonna dictate what my blackness needs to be?
Yeah.
There's a scale.
Yeah,
you're not being black enough right now for my taste.
Yeah. Now Jada Blur says, I don't like how they took out Battlestar. I don't think nobody did. You know what I mean? Look, listen. Shout out to Lamar Hoskins. I don't think you get no argument from nobody about that, what they did or whatever. You know, and here's the thing about that though. What perfect Marvel movie? Somebody tell me the perfect Marvel movie. Because they all have issues. You know what I'm saying? And if we're in the movies, right? And they're gonna be, it's always something gonna happen to the black guy. You go to a horror movie, who's the first one to die? Usually it's the black guy. That's the trope and that's the joke. That's the running joke. That's what happens. Now, I wish they could have done something different, but I'm not gonna tell Malcolm Spellman, who was probably under a whole lot of duress, to give us the storyline with Isaiah Bradley. So we gotta pick and choose. In my opinion, we have to pick and choose what we. Some people have a problem with Falcon Winter Soldier, but listen, bro. Now me and you, like I said, we're older, right? Remember when they had the Million Man March?
Yeah.
You know they found Negroes to say something bad about the Million Man March.
Yeah. Oh, it's not really a million. It's like 895,000.
They found people to say something bad about black unity, black men unified. They found some Negroes to talk down on it. So there's always going to be something. I just need you guys that's in the fandom. I need you guys to think out of the box. Get out of your basement and think long term. Because a lot of the stuff that we are snapping at or nitpicking or whatever, it's not it's chess, not checkers. So I mean, again, feel like you feel about why certain things are a certain way, and they are. But like I told you, I'm black pill when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I don't expect Marvel to just champion everything black, and they gonna do what they gonna do, Paul.
Look,
That's
even,
what they are.
even when Marvel did champion everything black in Black Panther #1, we all wore our dashikis. We all saw the movie multiple times. We all talked about how it was the greatest film of all time. And here we are years later. We're like, well, in retrospect, here are the problems I had with that film. You know?
Yeah.
You can take anything, and nitpick it and find problems with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's perfect in movies, in comic books, and in life. That's called the real world, people.
Yeah. And,
right?
and look, here's the thing.
Anything. But
and
you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say,
no,
because I don't like this one thing, ban it. That's just...
And here's the thing, too. Somebody tell me where's Battlestar in the comics right now. Because that's the most important part. Not the movies, not the MCU. So that's why the MCU stuff, it irritates me to no end, because the MCU, they're doing certain things now. They're basing everything in the MCU based on what they want to do in the comics, right? That's been the thing that Marvel's been doing the last 10 years. They're trying to make the MCU stuff reflect what's in comics. You hadn't seen Lamar Hoskins in comics. Y'all complaining about the Falcon and Winter Soldier movie, but anybody, I ain't heard one person say, why is Lamar Hoskins not in, why is Battlestar not in any comics?
He's dead.
I'm just saying, y'all, and again, there's no perfect solution. We're going to always find problems with certain things. And it's cool that I did not like the way he was done in Falcon and Winter Soldier. But at the same time, though, the movie wasn't about him. The movie was about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And that's all I can really say about it. You know what I'm saying? The last comic, he was in U.S. Agent Many, where Christopher Priest gave him that work. Yes. By the way, nobody bought that book either. And that's kind of sad. Yeah, we got it. We comic heads, Paul. We gonna buy the books.
And talking about a resume, we told people about it.
Yes, we did.
But we're not real black comic.
No,
let me not go there.
We just playing. He says overseas working with Silver State. Well, okay. Where the books at? Speaking of books, let's go to our next article, which is Vixen. Okay, Screen Rant article. Fan favorite Justice League hero Vixen. I think this is interesting, Paul. Shows off her godlike power.
Favorite DC.
Her godlike power in stunning feat. Connecting with DC's red and unfamiliar prehistoric land, Vixen displays extraordinary godlike power to save her team. As the birds of prey trapped in a pocket dimension by a mysterious villain hunting heroes, Mary McKay has seemingly lost touch with her abilities. But when finally able to tap into this dimension's genetic field, Vixen expertly channels the land's dinosaurs to fight birds' new sinister threat. Here's the thing. I'm not reading Birds of Prey. Are you reading Birds of Prey?
I have a few of the issues, yes, and the only reason I do is because of her. She's one of my favorite DC characters.
Right. So Birds of Prey issue 11, written by Kelly Thompson, art by Robbie Rodriguez, ends with a brilliant display of power by Vixen. As the birds enter the portal to save team founder Barbara Gordon, Mary was unable to use her abilities in the new world when they found themselves in. She struggles with her powerlessness in the face of the Jurassic era creatures, leaving the team for some time alone to lock in with the red and regain her power. And when the birds have their backs against the wall with a new villain, Maya, Vixen returns and harnesses the power of 7 pterodactyls. Vixen's superpower to channel abilities of any animal makes her one of DC's most versatile characters, and her new display of dino power further proves that. And while the character is famous for using her power to take on general abilities of basic animals to do superheroics, there are unexplored levels to Vixen's true potential as a total powerhouse in the current DC universe. Translation, she's an underused character.
Is this like What does it say? What issue that is?
It's Birds of Prey issue 11.
Issue 11. Okay,
Yes.
I'll make sure
11.
that I pick that up.
Yeah, it might. I don't think it may. It's either out or it's getting ready to come out.
Yeah, it
But
already came out July 2nd. I see.
okay. So yeah, that's what's going on with her. But again, I'm not a Birds of Prey guy. You know what I'm saying? But I did go see the Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey movie I went to see that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not a comic. I don't follow the Birds of Prey comic book. I didn't personally know that she was in the Birds of Prey book, but I just happened to see her. They talking about her, and I said, "Well, okay, let's check this out. Let's read this article and see what they're talking about."
This is
And
the issue on the screen.
yeah, so but she's one of DC's best characters, but she's terribly underused. There was a Vixen NYC book that just came out, graphic novel that was based on DC's online series that they're doing. So I think it's like 1 or 2 or 3 volumes that are supposed to come out. I know 1 has already come out and it's in the store. Matter of fact, I saw a copy of it today when I was at the comic shop. But this is a dope character, man, and has been a dope character for a long time. But I just know that one of our gripes has been that she is not being used. Brooklyn says maybe she would get a little more shine if she joined the Titans. Maybe so. Because again, I just don't, I don't know a lot of people that are reading Birds of Prey. That's why I asked you, because I know I wasn't.
Yeah, but I am reading actually the Vixen NYC book is really good. If you want it's the only thing with it. The problem I have with DC often is that it's written as more of an Elseworlds type story, so it's not part of the same DC continuity because it takes place when she was much younger. She was like in college, I guess, and she just moved to New York. But she's getting kind of her origins, how she got her power, and more background on the country she's from and her family and stuff like that. So that's kind of a cool book. If you're a fan of Vixen, I recommend Vixen NYC. Although it's done in kind of a webtoon style. If that style you don't like, you may but the storyline is good.
Okay. Well, that's what's up, and Nancy the Spider, I love the name. She's challenged dinosaurs before, though. She once remembered a Triceratops weight at 9,000 pounds years ago. I think I remember that. And here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Most of these characters have done stuff that, before we just don't know because they're either in obscure books or, but I just think this is the guy who wrote this article, I think he's highlighting the fact that, you do know she's pretty dope and has got the ability to do all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, you think about, having that kind of ability and be able to channel, a prehistoric dinosaur or Tyrannosaurus Rex or something like that. When they're out fighting somewhere. But that is pretty cool when you think about it. But historically, she's just common animals, or whether it's animals from the native land, Africa, or when she's a part of the Justice League. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of different for sure.
For example, she actually in one comic, I forget what comic book it was, she'd gone out into space and she's like, well, what power can I do to survive in space and what have you? And she actually channeled the power of a pterograde. What do you call it? Tetragrade, which is like the microscopic animal that's virtually indestructible. And that's how she was able to survive the vacuum of space, by channeling that power. Her power set is literally limitless because we just think, oh, she can emulate a cat or a dog and an elephant or something. She can emulate any life form. Any life form. And so that makes her power set virtually limitless. If she was in the Marvel universe, she'd be an Omega level mutant.
Yep.
Tardigrade. Thank you, Nancy.
So according to the article, also too, everybody knows. They highlight the series that she had, the Vixen Return of the Lion from 2008, 2009 limited series. Right. Pick that up if you don't have it. I think it's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? So she doesn't get a lot of.
As an aside, I don't mean to interrupt you. I think that book is the first Black superheroine self-titled series DC ever had.
There it is. Because I can't think of anything else as
I
far as the
can't think of
subtitle.
anything. Yeah.
So
2008.
Mel McCade, her status has been on multiple teams in the DC universe, and has sometimes relegated her to the sidelines, but her immense abilities make her deserving of a bigger spotlight. So the writer of this article is calling for DC to do more with her. And it's weird too. Shout out to all of y'all at DC, because I know y'all the word is y'all gonna have a presence at San Diego Comic-Con. And I looked at what y'all were gonna talk about, and the melanin is nowhere to be seen. Go ahead, DC. Do what y'all do. Do what y'all do. So that's enough of that. In more news, black comic book news, our next Screen Rant article is Miles Morales and Static unite and crossover team up Marvel DC need most. Now, this is not happening. But what this is,
I just got excited for a second.
What this is there has been some fan fiction art type stuff going on. And this is what this is about. The combination of Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Static from Static Shock proves once again to be a big hit with audience, despite never officially having a crossover in the comics. More than once, the duo have been brought together in fan art, making it clear that it is a dream team up for many fans. The latest rendition of the fan art pairing Miles Morales with Milestone staple comes from, what's the guy's name? I don't have it listed here. Logic. The artwork depicts Static and Miles and Spider-Man side by side in the comic book cover, echoing the Marvel team-up crossover series of yesteryear. For all the fanfare surrounding the hypothetical partnership between the two superheroes, as well as how often they are compared and contrasted to each other, it's worth speculating as to what it is about this period that audiences are so rightfully obsessed with seeing them together, especially for young Black readers. Characters like Static and Miles Morales show that they have a place in the comic book world. Okay. So we know how we feel. Well, I can't say we. Y'all know how I feel about my man Static and his relationship with Miles Morales. I will say this though. They've been talking about doing Marvel and DC are back doing crossovers now. And I would hope that they would go ahead and do this, because this would be dope. This would be fire. Matter of fact, if they do this, I'm telling you, that book is going to sell out. Not only sell out, there are going to probably be some crazy variants that they're going to just put together. That would be insane. So Marvel and DC, while y'all trying to put Batman and Captain America, Superman, and who else? I don't know, Thor. Why don't y'all put the two young bloods together? Put out that story. Yeah. I ain't talking about a 6-page mini. I'm talking about a full 22-page, 32-page, 48-page. Matter of fact, why not a whole graphic novel with them two? That would be amazing.
That would be impossible. The cynic in me is talking. That would be too much right.
I mean, you've been taking the black pill, Paul.
Yeah, I'm literally quoting you. That would be too much right.
Yeah.
That would only happen if Marvel and DC said, you know what, let's do something to make a bunch of money and ignore whatever hesitance prevents us to promote these characters better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that would, if ever there was a crossover that would be huge for us and for comics, it would be that.
Tony, shout out to Tony Cottrell, Advent Big Boss. He says that Too much red tape. Look,
Yeah, too much red tape.
That's red tape worth going through, in my humble opinion. It's one of those things where that will be worth the trouble, in my opinion, because you could literally do a whole lot of stuff, and it's one of those things. I feel like if they really did it and put a dope writer and a dope, it's like Crisscross, Kanan White. Could you imagine Marcus Williams doing a cover for this for a static Miles team up? That would be crazy. You could literally, it's too much like you said, but it's one of those things where that's leaving money. That's literally leaving money on the table, Paul.
Well,
I'm just saying.
So I'm not going to fantasize too much about that, because Tony Cottrell's in the building, and he's got access to Hot Shot and Soul. Put those two characters together in a book. They're about the same age, right?
Yeah,
they can do the same thing, same concept, same vibe. But I will say this, because someone mentioned the cartoons. Imagine if the team, because I'm a big Milestone guy and I'm still bitter. Imagine if the team that did the Miles Morales movie over at Sony were to do a static movie. Can you imagine how dope that would be? I know. See, that pause and that shaking of the head tells me all I need to hear.
Oh, of course.
You're like as much dismay as me.
Oh, bruh, look, I'm trying to buy tickets now. I'm standing in line now. And I want the merch.
If they had that team do a static movie, which is what we're supposed to be watching right now, right? If we go back to the DC fandom from 2020, we're supposed to be watching a static movie right now.
Yeah, we would have that movie literally right now.
You and I would have been like, how many times have you seen it so far, Rich?
Yeah.
You'd be like, I saw it at 6, and I'll be like, 6? That's it?
Yeah,
you need to catch up, bro.
Yeah. That'd be one of them. That'd be one of them. I'm watching that back to back. I ain't talking about like the next day. I'm talking about the next showing. Okay. Somebody got it. I'm gonna sit the same seat. I'd be like, hey man, I gotta see this again. I'm sorry, bro. You can sit on my lap, but I ain't leaving the seat. So, but no, this would be dope. Check this out though. I want to before we get into more into the discussion. I want to read something that the writer says here in the article. He says, "What does it mean, however, that both characters connect strong with demographics who want to see themselves represented on screen without any stereotypes or fallacies displayed? For example, mentioned earlier, both characters come from a strong family foundation with both parents in the household holding down good jobs. Again, that may seem irrelevant to some readers, but it drives home the fact that both characters are normal teenagers with average upbringing, which doesn't other them from readers' different backgrounds. They are not stereotypically poor or fit with any negative stereotype. Virgil Hawkins and Miles Morales are normal teenagers. Both Static and Spider-Man are simply superheroes who happen to be black. Their blackness is still important, and race does often play an active role in their stories, but it doesn't overshadow their experiences, nor is their blackness weaponized by their creators to harshen their experience. They are simply black superheroes with a deeper emphasis on the word superhero."
I co-sign on every word of what you just wrote. Every word of it. I mean, that's what makes these characters so damn dope. That's what make, Dwayne McDuffie so damn brilliant in helping to co-create this character, we talk oftentimes here about the importance of, seeing black families, for me, a black superhero family. My goal, my fantasy is to someday have a black superhero family, a black Fantastic Four type thing. Oh yeah, we have Epiphany Engine, the McCallies.
We'll talk about them in a minute.
That's what I've been wanting to see for a long time, you know, because we don't have that in comics, and quite frankly, in popular culture, it's just not something that we get in this genre of sci-fi and comics and stuff like that. In sci-fi, we had Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, get to see a positive role of a father with his son, but we don't have that in comics, man. Um, the one father-son relationship we have, you know, T'Challa's father died. Cyborg hates his father, despite his fact because his father saved his life. You know, it's just I want to see
Yeah,
a nice, normal, happy, healthy family relationship, and this is both these characters have that.
no doubt. No doubt. So, again, this is some fan art and Screen Rant.
Shout out to Black Light.
Shared this film. What about it? Says Black Light and his family come close. I agree 100%, but they have put my man on the shelf for so long. We'll see. I think that's a family that DC's got sitting on the shelf for whatever reason.
Moon Girl's gonna get excited.
The Nova Corps. What's the name of the family?
Geez, I'm looking at the whole family. Starts with the C. Why am I not remembering the family's name? Damn, that's gonna bother me for the rest of the night.
Let's just look it up real quick.
I'm gonna have to look at it. That's gonna bother me for the rest of the night.
Infinity Gauntlet. It's Infinity Gauntlet Volume 2.
From 2015.
Let's see. What's the name of the family? Bakian, the Bakian family.
The Bakians. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bakian and all of that.
Thank you, Professor and Mr. Rod Fordham. Thank you, sir. But the Bakian family. And, so black families exist. They just lock down. They are like Ernie said the other night, they witness protection. So, but it is what it is, This
I like Michael Mighty Mr. J's comment.
So if he did this job, we could have got that with the Fox family, Lucius Jason.
He was close. He was very close. I mean, the way he was writing that story, the I Am Batman story, it looked like it wasn't going in that direction, and then he just made a hard right.
I'm going to say DC stopped that. I'm gonna say that was DC, and I'm not saying that he couldn't take more liberties with it. But what I will say is that I think that's a story, because it's the future state stuff. It's going to get passed over, even though it's supposed to be the quote unquote future state of DC. They're not throwing away future state. From what they said at DC, future state is a part of the DC canon. And what they will do with those characters long term, I don't know. But yeah, I would love to see the Fox family, man, do their thing. Definitely enjoy. I'm still enjoying the Outsiders book that just came out. Issue number 9 dropped, and so they still around. But we'll see. But anyway, look, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about Epiphany Engine. Got a few more days to go, a few more dollars to grab. So get you a drink, take your restroom break or whatever. What you going to say, Paul?
Just want to recognize the super chat we got, Dr. Wizard, if you would. Shout out to Frustrated Fans Show. Appreciate it, man. We are the beasts. We are the Black Comic Lords, and we are family. There are a lot of the channels that have a lot of fans, but I'm happy to say we got a lot of family. So appreciate you, bro.
donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
All right. So look, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we come back. We're gonna talk Epiphany Engine. We're gonna hit you guys with an update. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk a little bit about that. Then we'll get into our main subject tonight, talking about fatigue collecting in the hobby. What do you do when you get fatigued? Because it happens to the best of us. So y'all go get you a snack, a drink, a restroom break, whatever, and we'll be back. Right back.
T'Challa's been knocked around a lot.
A lot.
And I wanted the story to feel like T'Challa is him, you know? Like, he's that dude. And
You
I
want to
wanted
give the swag back.
Yes. I wanted him to, you know, get some, I don't want to say arrogance, but to me, T'Challa doesn't need to be humbled. And
Say that part louder again. For the people in the back.
I don't think that T'Challa needs to be humbled. There are things that he needed to learn, and I think multiple writers have done a great job in T'Challa learning and growing. But I don't think he needed a humbling. And I wanted, even though I know that he was like, he had fallen prey to Blade and he was serving someone else, I wanted to emphasize that Wakandans may have a broken government, but they aren't a broken people. And T'Challa is that dude. T'Challa is, king or not, he is that dude. Heart, soul, mind, all of it. And so I kind of wanted the last of the first to show this man is important and should be treated as if he is important.
Message.
What's good, Comic Fam? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Concrete Comics, and I'm also pretty sure you guys are familiar with Freestyle Comics. Well, what if I told you they were partnering together and give you guys an amazing promo code? So listen, here's the deal. You go to any one of these websites, you're gonna save 20% off by using this promo code. Now, if you spend more than 50 bucks, you're gonna get free shipping. You can't beat this. And when I talk to you about industry standard or better storylines and art, I mean, you're really not beating Freestyle Comics, and you're definitely not beating Concrete Comics. Listen, this is not a sponsorship. I've literally read all of these books, and they're fire. So stop crying and start buying. Concrete Comics, Freestyle Comics, joining forces. Make sure you use this promo code. You're gonna get 20% off. You spend more than 50 bucks, you're gonna get free shipping. We out.
All right, we back. So, shout out to all of y'all in the chat. We're gonna get to some of y'all chat stuff a little bit, but now what we want to do is we want to talk about Epiphany Engine.
Yes, sir.
Hershey put out a little blurb the other day or two ago saying we're in the end game, and yeah. So where are we at, Professor, with the update on the Epiphany Engine? How many more dollars do we need to fund this project? I know we're close. So what we got? 46, 944. All right. There it is. 4 days to go. 4 days to go. So we're talking about a little bit over $4,000. Yeah.
$4,356.
There we go. $4,356. Some of y'all got that in y'all piggy bank. Y'all stop playing. We know this project is going to be funded. We were just talking about, Black superhero family. Sean, shout out to Sean Fry. Said just backed it. Appreciate you.
Thank
You know,
Thank you.
and again, there's old saying, be the change you want to see. We want Black superhero. We want Black superhero love. We want to see ourselves, or like William Foster III always says, looking for a face like mine. And this project has all of that in it. And so we really want everybody and their mama. Let me just say it like that. I'm talking to Black people. Everybody and their mama. And if we got some allies in the building, that's good too. Everybody and my mom. Me, like my man Andre 3000 say, me, you, and your mother and your cousin too. Everybody back this project. So
just so everybody knows, we've been promising for the past week now, every dollar that you guys give us in our super chats is going to be donated to Epiphany Engine.
Yep.
So hopefully on that final day, we'll be able to help move it towards that final goal. And hopefully, Tony, you're in the chat. Hopefully, once was it Thursday? What day of the week is that?
Tune in Tuesday, Wednesday morning for
I think Friday's the last day. When you reach the goal, come on to space on Friday and let's celebrate, man. Let's do something big. Holla at us.
Yeah, I will say that it goes without saying how important this project is. We got the news that the owner or the guy that's over Kickstarter donated to the project.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty big because, again, it's one thing to like have a company that creates a platform where you can raise funds for important projects, but it's another thing for that person to say, you know what, I believe in this too, so I'm gonna donate to it too. So I thought that was pretty amazing. So again, guys, the talent that's associated with this project is stellar. It's not no ham and eggers. It's no jobbers on this project. This is all top-notch talent. And they're creating something that perhaps in the future will lead to more projects. And here's the other thing too. You're gonna discover new characters that you have not read that are there for you to take, in terms of the fandom. You know what I'm saying? You want to grow your fandom. You want to grow your ability to collect. We're gonna talk about fatigue in a minute. But what is Dorothy John's character?
Is it Spirit? No.
Spirit's Destiny?
Something like that, yeah. I think so.
Spirit's Destiny. But there's a lot of characters associated with this project that you're going to find and you're going to learn about and you're going to see and be exposed to that you probably don't know who they are. But you're going to be able to because if you're a comic head or if you're someone that really loves stuff like this, you're going to Spirit Destiny. You're going to want to investigate. You're going to want to grab their first appearance. You're going to want to find out, this is a dope character, man. I gotta check this out. You're going to do those kind of things because they matter. These characters matter. These are your characters.
Shout out to the Frustrated Fan Show. He did back-to-back donations.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate you, bro.
Show me the money. Louder. Show me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I love Black people.
Yep.
So he did $5, then he followed up with $3. So thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. Yeah, we're excited. The tears that's on this book are amazing. I don't know what's coming after that. We got an idea just looking at that page what could happen. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going. I know that the John Jennings print, I'm ecstatic for that. So that's gonna be cool. There's a lot of other stuff, man. That's these guys are doing. Yeah, it's a good time to be a black comic head. I'll say it like that. So shout out to Epiphany Engine. Like I said, guys, you can give as much as less as $1. You can give $1, you can get $2, you can give $20, you can give 1,000, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, no amount is such that it's not an investment. You know, give what you can, and if you can give above and beyond, do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to a good cause. Tony says, "When's did we blow the doors off?" That's what I like to hear.
I am genuinely excited for this book. I ordered the hardcover. So I wanted to have something that this historical deserves a hardcover that I can stick on my shelf,
Mm-hmm.
you know, give to my daughter someday, you know, along with some other books that I bought from them. So I'm excited about this project, man.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
It's amazing. All of those companies that you see listed there, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's an amazing time, man. 2025 is going to be lit.
I would love for us to have all these artists that creators that worked on this book at some con next year, and I have my book in hand and be able to get it signed by all of them. That would be dope. That would be dope.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, you know, and Tony says, wait till Wednesday. Well, we can't wait, brother. We'll be right here. We'll be right here. So shout out to Epiphany Engine, to all my man. Shout out to the chief over there, Tony Cottrell, and to the Godfather, Joe Idlich, for putting this project together. You know, because I do think this is something that, to your point, Paul, about being able to pass it down to your kids and enough. I have nephews, you know what I'm saying, and they love Spider-Man and Black Panther and stuff, but I kind of really want to turn them on to something like this, because these characters are 100% new to them, and there's nothing like having something fresh and new for you to discover and to, you know, wrap your brains around or whatever. And you know, and you know, it also is a testament of how many people have put down the work. You know, Advent's has been in this business close to 15 years, if not 15 years, and you know, other creators they've been plugging and grinding and setting their foundations. And so what you're seeing now with all of those different brands, and you're talking literally decades and decades of hard work and tenacity to try to create, you know, universes that are befitting for us as those who consume the content. Afrofuturism, you know, superhero stuff, nerdy stuff. I want the nerdy stuff. One of the reasons why I loved Ghostlight by John Jennings was it was very nerdy. It was very nerdy. So I'm looking forward to some of the nerdy stuff that's going to be in this book. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's a lot to be excited about for sure. Those are some of the covers, y'all. And we're going to have a new villain to talk about too, Absalom. I love that name, Absalom. You know, and yeah, those are the big covers. Shout out to Brandon Thomas. Had a dope interview with him. And yeah, man.
Oh, Robert, I agree with you 100%, because I plan on making the Schomburg a yearly, you know, travel, you know, yearly pilgrimage. Nothing would make me happier for them all to be.
I'm gonna try to my best to make it to the Schomburg next year when it comes out. And if any of y'all want to sponsor me, put me up in a hotel or put me in your put me on the couch at your house, you know, in New York, I'm good with that. But I need to be in Schaumburg next year. You know what I'm saying? That's not even bucket list. That's just like, you know what, you need to make that happen, whether it's on your bucket list or not. So yeah, Frustrated hits us with another super chat. We need this to win. More money for the cause. Shout out, salute. Let's go, Derek. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So with that said, guys, you know, support the project. Epiphany Engine is important. We cannot stress enough the importance of this project being, you know, brought to fruition. It's nothing like this, you know, ever on this scale, on this level. You know what I'm saying? This is very inspiring. And this is going to, I'm going to be honest, this is going to, it's going to cause a lot of creators in other different communities to look at this and say, hey, if them cats did it, I know we can do it. Because one thing about Black people, we trailblazers. We trailblazers. And when you're able to blaze a trail, something, and with something like this on this level, on this scale, yeah, I'm pretty sure Tony DMs are popping. You know what I'm saying? But it takes a mastermind. It takes somebody that know how to gather people. It takes people that know how to motivate. You know, it takes all of us, guys. It takes all of us. So salute to Tony Cottrell and all the people over at Advent, all the people that's associated to the, you know, Joel is the Godfather, the whole staff, man, the whole crew, you know, for making this happen. This is for the culture. So yeah. Rob asked, Eric July would have nice. Well, you know, he's still doing books. He's still doing books. You know, if he was on the book, this book might have got funded in 30 seconds. But that ain't the case. So, you know, we understand why certain things are possible. And we also understand why certain things are not possible. So it is what it is.
Frustrated is asking if this picture is one of the posters in the package. Tony, if you're still here, can you answer if this picture is this? I think this is one by. Is this one by Sean Damian Hill? I think that might be one.
So. I think that's one of the covers to the book.
Right.
Yeah, the family cover. Yeah.
Tony, let us know if this is one of the posters in the poster package.
Yeah. That look, this book is gonna be famous. This book is gonna be famous. So
don't be a fan later. That's all I gotta say. Don't be a fan later.
So anyway, look, let's get to our subject to tonight. You know, we're not gonna talk too long about it, but I want to talk about fatigue, the reality of building in the hobby. Yes, by Sean, and it is a poster. That's what he says.
There you go.
I was talking with a collector earlier today, and I hit him up to ask him about a book, and we got to talking about certain kinds of books. And I'm in a space where I'm collecting certain kind of books right now. And one of the reasons why I'm collecting these kind of books is because I got to a space where I became bored, or I just got kind of tired going after the next hot book, big book, or whatever. I just needed to collect differently. And it's not like I had some kind of strategy to do this or whatever, but it wound up being something almost academic as opposed to just wanting to nerd out and fan out over something. It was very intentional. And I did it that way because, again, like I said, I had reached a point where I was, you know, I love going to the comic book shop on Wednesdays or whatever, you know what I'm saying, picking up books and enjoying these books and reading good stories and that kind of thing. And that probably would never change. But, you know, I used to thrive and love just going in back issues. I just love to do that. I call myself, you know, long box landing, short box stand. I'm in these books. I'm a dollar bin bully. Those kind of things. And I just got to a point where, you know what, I'm in these shops and I'm not get into gold like I used to. And so it's like, okay, now I got to start doing things different. So when I talk about fatigue or whatever, in terms of, fatigue, not necessarily, there may be a different word for it. But it's kind of like, you go to a shop and you're trying to find some new stuff, or you're trying to find some different ways to collect. I love Robert Fordman and his discipline in collecting foreign books. That's a niche within a niche within a niche within a niche. And it's very on purpose, on task, focused type way to collect. But when you're someone that just kind of collects everything like me, and probably you too, Paul, it can be a little boring at times. And so it's kind of like when you find yourself in that space. And I don't know if you've ever done that, but I know I have. It's one of the reasons why I started collecting certain books or whatever. And because I'm new to these kind of books that I'm trying to collect, I'm fresh in it now, where it's like it's really cool now. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying trying to go find books, and it's different. And that's why I'm enjoying, because it's different. Everybody's not going after the same book. We're not chasing the same ghosts, if that makes any sense. So have you ever had that happen, bro, where you get fatigued or frustrated in collecting?
I get fatigued and frustrated, and this happens the most with the mainstream publishers, with seeing the same stories over and over again, and not see anything of any significance happen. It's one of the reasons why I just stopped collecting these big crossover stories, because they're just pointless. With the exception of Blood Hunt, which has been phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it can get I have found when I reach those states, and that happened to me a couple of years ago, that's where I really got into, as you said, the back issues. Because honestly, comics back in the day, they're just better written.
Yeah.
Stories were better. They gave you more art for your buck. Instead of being 22 pages, the comics were like 32 pages. I mean, you picked up a comic book from back in the day and you read it. It was a read. Like, It wasn't like one of those, let me just go to the bathroom and I'll be done in a few minutes type stuff that we have today. It was a read. And you had a story. So back issue reading is it's a whole nother level than what we get today.
Yeah,
One of the things I love is just do research too. You find these obscure characters, and you just pull up any random comic book character and go on Google and pull up their profile and look at their bibliography of books, and then just start chasing those books. If you have a favorite character, pull up that character and find all the books that character's ever appeared in, and start trying to collect. That's a great way to get yourself reinvigorated back into the hobby.
It was interesting today. I was at a shop today, and the shop owner knows I frequent that shop. I bought some short boxes. I didn't buy any comics when I was there, but when I was there, I was sitting having a conversation with one of the employees that was there, right? And this one employee knows that I love Dwayne McDuffie, and I collect all Dwayne McDuffie stuff, right? And so I told him I was chasing this book, and one of the books I'm chasing is a Flash Impulse issue number 60 that Dwayne McDuffie wrote. And so he wrote it down, but he told me that there's a Hellblazer. He wrote like issue 7 to 10 of Hellblazer books. And he said, man, I got those. I'll hold them aside for you. And I appreciated that, because I had been looking for these books for the longest. And it was just simply having a conversation. It was like, yeah, man, and that's the thing. Some stuff is so obscure. It's like, if you ask a LCS guy what you're looking for, they'd be like, huh? But they see stuff all the time. That's why it's weird to me, man. Our books are in these shops. We may just not know that they're in these shops. David F. Walker did a Kickstarter for an issue for a book called The Hated. I did not participate in that Kickstarter, but I
Was
think
that
they're trying
was
to.
that the Western book?
That's the Western book.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very good. Very good book. And I think he's working on trying to get number 2 if it on a Kickstarter. But I know that I was just digging through some bins and at that shop, and I came across a copy of it. So I'm like, what? And I grabbed it, and they charged. I think I had to pay like $5 for it. But this was, you know, a nice size one shot, or not. I guess it was a one shot, but I know they're trying to do. They hated number 2, but I do know that these books come through collections or whatever, and sometimes, you know, you go to a shop a certain day, man, and you come out with a bunch of books, and then there's some days where it's like you ain't coming out with nothing, you know. And the days I don't come out with something, I'll try to grab something new on the shelf, just random or whatever. It's like, well, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to grab it, try it out, check it out, and that's what I'll do. But I try to collect with some stuff, man. Yeah. Martin
You know,
Johnson said,
that's kind of a cool thing to do as well. Is if you have a favorite writer or an artist, just pull up. Like we use the League of Comic Book Geek. We have the account there. You can go on League of Comic Geek, put in your favorite writer, your favorite artist, and just look at all the works that they've done, and then just go collect those. There are different ways that you can kind of. You said, what's the best word for it, Rich? I think the French word is ennui. If you have comic book ennui, which is kind of like a sort of malaise or sort of a boredom with comics, you find a character or a creator that you like, research them, pull up those books, and just buy those books. So what's interesting about doing it that way, especially with the creators, is you get such a myriad of books that's done by that creator, whether it be Marvel, DC, black characters, white characters, independent books. You're just creating because you dig that particular creator style. And it'll branch you out into other books, and you might find some other things that you enjoy.
Speaking of that, Carl, it's already out, so we can talk about it.
Oh, I don't even know what you're about to say.
Alex Ross has a book coming out, an art book coming out.
Wow.
And in this art book, it's basically a collection of art that he's doing or that he's done over the years on projects or on ideas of things that just didn't make it to print. And he has a one such art piece.
Derek, can you bring it up?
I don't know if he might be able to do it to bring it up, but there's an art piece. We don't have the full page of it, but he did a piece. He did a Lion Man piece. And I saw it and I was like, wow. I immediately signed up for the pre-order. Book's $50. But
I thought about getting it myself, but then I realized it wasn't actually released, and I was gonna get frustrated by seeing, because the image is dope.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Lion Man is public domain, and literally if he wanted to do a Lion Man book, he could.
He could. Yeah.
Just seeing the one image would just frustrate the hell out of me.
But you know what? Here's the thing about that. Somebody that's in the community, and I'll be honest, shout out to all of you creators out there that watch us. Here's a layup. Alex Ross did a print of Lion Man. If y'all ever wanted to do a Lion Man book, because it is public domain, you might want to hit your mans up and say, hey, because because it's Alex Ross, it's gonna sell. Just because. All right. So if you got any Lion Man stories y'all want to do, you know, and of course he's, you know, doing other art and stuff like that. But when I saw that, man, I was like, wow. So And reason why I bring up it's Alex Ross. Okay, Alex Ross is famous for writing or drawing Superman and Captain America. All right, he did that volume that every Black Panther that most Black Panther fans hate. Y'all can hate the writer, but y'all can't hate the artist.
You can't hate those covers. Those are some of
Can't
the
hate
most
those
fire
covers.
covers
Yeah,
ever done in Black Panther runs. Was
look
that
at.
run?
I want y'all to look at that. That's Alex Ross, the return of the first Black superhero, Lion Man.
You know who's gonna go crazy when they see that line though, right?
Who?
Herschel,
Oh, well, you know,
first superhero.
Herschel probably's already seen it. I imagine.
I'm sure he'll have a TikTok about it's really Lothar, damn it.
Whatever. You can say that all you want to. All I know is that what I'm getting at is that there was a point that this was a project that perhaps, and I'm hoping he gives some backstory to this. There's a project that he at one time thought about doing, and that's the thing, you know.
That
Because that's
artwork is
you know what I'm saying. So,
Return of the first Black super. Just that one page, just one image.
man, I'm telling you, I'm finna blow 50 on that, bro. I gotta have that in my collection. So, you know, frustrated asks, what's the name of the book? Let me see.
It says
Well, I
Alex
can't bring
Ross,
it.
the unseen art book is what it says in
Yeah,
the
the
top.
unseen art book. Yeah, so it's gonna come out or whatever. It's available now. You can sign up for Alex Ross has a website or that you can sign up for. And you can send you a text. I remember when I first heard about it, I'm like, man, somebody hit me up. They're like, bro, did you see this? I'm like, no. Now, I got the email or the text, but I never opened it. When I opened it, that's one of the first things I saw. I was like, oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. So yeah. And that's the other thing too. Brian Steelfree, speaking of which, didn't he just have a book? Didn't he just put out a book, Derek bought or whatever?
It's a sore subject. It's a sore subject to me.
I know
Also,
it is.
I know Derek, you're triggering Derek right now. Derek's gonna pull out his book and pop on the live and so, oh, you mean this book that Paul doesn't have? And he salivates over every time he sees it. And by the way, it's signed by Brian Steelfreeze. I only paid like $2 for it.
Yeah.
It was.
Only reason why I brought it up because Robert brought it up. He said, "Oh, Steelfree covers were great." Yeah, I mean, but Steelfree's got an art book, and that's the thing too. And that's another part of collecting. I think that we don't always, I know that they're comic heads who do not read stories. All they collect is the art. I have an LCS that I have a pull list at. This one guy, all he orders is a special artist. That's all he wants. He doesn't want to collect anything else. Doesn't matter what it could be a Disney, it could be Donald Duck. But the guy collects everything of this particular writer or this particular artist. And that's all he gets. And but that's something that we don't necessarily do or whatever, you know what I'm saying? One guy that I would love to get my hands on some art is Hebrew Brantley. He's the guy that did the book Black Boy Fly.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, but because Hebrew Brantley is like and please I don't want any comic book artists coming at my head. But Hebrew Brantley is like a Picasso type artist. That dude's art goes for major coin. And I just wish he would put out an art book that folks like me could buy. With what I'm saying, I have cognac taste, but I got beer money. I like, I want Louis the 13th, but I got Milwaukee best money, bro.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? what's a good word? I'm trying to think. What's a good word for that? You know, I'm uh, transalcoholic or something. You know what I'm saying? That's I really, I got this kind of taste. You know, I have beer money, but I really I'm stuck. You know, with a fine cognac type. It's crazy. But what I'm getting at though is that you know there is some amazing artists in this space. Now he says Brantley has an art book on the Rizzoli website. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that book is crazy, going for crazy bread. I just want something that's can you come to the hood? That's, you know what I'm saying? He's got art. His art is legitimately in art galleries all over the place. But you know what I'm saying, we don't have that kind of taste. So but that guy's art is so amazing, and so I get it. But I would just love to have some of that art in my collection. Yeah. Okay, so it's $55. Okay. I might have to grab that. I love that dude's art. That dude's art is incredible. Okay. Tell y'all what, anybody want to donate a Hebrew Brantley book, I sure appreciate it. and shout out to Derek. He just put the link in the chat. So yeah. So anyway, when we talk about these, you know, different ways of collecting or whatever, that's another way. So let me ask you this, Paul.
Yeah.
And this is just for fun. All you guys want you guys to participate. Okay. If you were on a desert island, this is one of these type questions. If you're on a desert island and you could only bring 3 art books with you, or 3 artists, I'm talking about the artists, not the writers. We'll get to writers in a minute. But you could only have like 3 artists, a stack of comic books with only 3 artists. Who do you think you would pull?
A stack of comic books with art by only 3 artists.
By only 3 artists.
We're talking just the art.
Just the art.
Damn, man, that's not exactly an easy question.
All right, let's make it real hard. You can only have 1 artist. If you were on a desert island and you could have only art from 1 art collector, if you were stuck on a desert island and you had to look at this art all the time. And here's the thing: there's a lot of different artists that I can just really appreciate. But I'm talking about if you had to like really see Cole, he already on. He say Dennis Cowan, Kyrie Randolph, Jamal Eichel.
If you know, honestly, the first name that springs to mind, because we were just talking about, was Alex Ross. But then I was like, if this is the only book I have for the rest of my life, as good as Alex Ross is, the artist that truly catches my eye and I actively go out and buy this man's work whenever I see it is Torrin Clark.
Torrin Clark, okay.
And I've never seen a whole Torrin Clark book of art. I've seen covers. He does covers all the time. But, you know, even Alex Ross has done like a complete Alex Ross book, you know, Justice, what have you. I would love to see a Torrin Clark graphic novel. That's something I would pay major bread for, because that man's art is just phenomenal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Big fan of that dude. I think he's the next Alex Ross.
For me, 3 artists. I'll use the 3 artists.
I can't do 3, man. It's just there's too many damn artists.
Dennis Cowan, Bill Sienkiewicz. Last one would probably be Marcus Williams.
I'll let you do another one, because the best combo I've ever seen, one of the best combos I've ever seen in art, is when Dennis Cowan and Bill Sienkiewicz do work together. where Dennis does the pencils and Bill Sienkiewicz does the inks.
Mhm.
That's some of the best art you'll ever see, hands down. On
Okay,
the
so
face.
let's now you put that out there. Now they're gonna want to know which books to look for on that. For real.
Look at the original Milestone stuff.
Yep.
The original Milestone covers. Even in the Milestone 2.0, they did a cover together that was really dope. Hardware.
Yep. Sean Platt, Alex Ross, George Perez, Sanford Green. Yeah. Frustrated says, for me, Lee Bermero. Yep.
Yeah, Lee Bermejo, man.
I mean, look, it's a lot of dope artists, bro. There's some days like when I look at there's some days like one of my favorite artists to kind of like look at every now and then, not all the time, but every now and then. I love Junie Ba. I love Junie Ba's art style. It's different. It's just unique. I love his stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I could just look at it all day like that. Somebody brought up Jamal Igle. I love the work that he did with Scott Snyder on the Dudley Dotson book. That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Hype style brings up Olivier Coipel.
Oh, that's my dude. I love Olivier Coipel.
Yeah.
The last book I saw on was Ambassadors.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to think. Now, I gotta say, life would not be the same without Billy Graham. Jungle Action. Say what you want about Jungle Action, but that's the. Let me just ask you this, and this might be unfair.
Yeah.
But who, in your opinion, is the best Black Panther artist ever?
Best Black Panther artist ever. Like on an ongoing series, or just do cover work, or what?
I would say ongoing. Please don't say what's the dude that did the books with Priest?
Mark Texiera?
Yeah, don't say.
Or the guy after him, Sal Voluto.
Texiera, I just do not like that issue 1. Issue number 4 that he did, first appearance of Arturo Rosazi. Well, Black Panther's looking like he got bit by a bunch of bees on the back. He got all the lumps on the back. It's supposed to be muscles.
Come on, man.
It's just weird to me, bro.
Best Black Panther artist of all time. Make sure I go through the entire roster, because you're throwing in guys like Dennis Cowan.
You got Dennis Cowan. You got Billy Graham.
Billy Graham. You got Brian Stillfreeze.
Yes. His stuff is nice. His stuff is real nice. He Stillfreeze did a lot of the Hundred. I mean, not the Hundred. He did a lot of the Colt stuff, right?
Yeah, he did Colt stuff. John Romita Jr. did a lot of Hudlin stuff. Damn, man. Best Black Panther artist of all time. It might actually go to Billy Graham. It might actually go to Billy Graham, because the Jungle Action stuff is classic. That's iconic.
Yep. And that's the thing. That's what I'm getting at, as far as like what scenes are of Black Panther art or Black Panther panels that really just kind of stand out. You know what I'm saying?
The first one you say when you talk about Billy Graham that I keep thinking of is one Otis always talks about too. The one from the splash page where it's underwater and him and Monica Lynn are like riding on the backs of dolphins or whatever it was. I mean, that was just a splash page. It was just incredible. The amount of detail. Creativity.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, again, it's one of those things when it comes to art. Art is subjective. You may feel a certain way a certain day. You might like this more than the others or whatever. So let's switch this in. Let's talk about writers. Okay. I know for myself, as far as like 3 writers, if I could just have this stuff, Dwayne McDuffie's number 1. Number 2.
I'd probably go with Dwayne McDuffie number 1, but number 2 for me would probably be Al Ewing. Love Al Ewing, man. Like, the dude's incredible writer.
He's a dope writer. He's a dope writer. I like him. For me, it would probably be Dwayne McDuffie. I enjoy the Rodney Barnes stuff, but it's more the modern stuff. I feel like Rodney needs to do a little bit more for him to like really have quote unquote GOAT status, if that makes any sense. He's still kind of just kind of getting started. But I would love to have his stuff in my collection if it was just 3. Him, Al Ewing is kind of hard to maybe Chip Zdarsky, either him or probably Christopher Claremont, because Claremont's all the X-Men stuff. What is your life like without X-Men?
True, but I started reading X-Men when I was very young, and it was the Claremont era. And I have found of late, as much as I love that run, and as much as one of the reasons I loved about that run with Chris Claremont is he didn't write it for kids. I'm like 12 years old reading this, 11 years old reading this Chris Claremont stuff. And I'm like, am I old enough to be reading this? It's like adult themes and stuff. He didn't write it for children. He wrote it like you're a intelligent reader. But there was some problematic stuff in retrospect, looking at it, 40 years later,
right,
with a different lens. There is some problematic stuff in some of his writing, particularly when it comes to Storm.
Absolutely. But you don't get. But that's the thing about with Claremont. You don't get God loves, man kills.
Right. Absolutely. The man. I'm not taking away from his props. The man's an incredible artist. He's definitely amongst the GOATs.
Yeah. So, again, it's like, okay, and that's the thing about, like, you talk about MD Bright. Somebody was brought up MD Bright as far as artists go. MD Bright kind of like, but MD Bright's kind of like part of our childhood. That's kind of like,
huge part of my collection is MD Bright's work.
Yeah. So, it's kind of like, he's always kind of been there. You know what I'm saying? And that's the weird thing when it comes to MD Bright. You know what I'm saying? That he is he's a dope artist, but it's kind of like he's always been there. It's like he's played a part in our childhood because he wrote all of those Iron Man books. He wrote those he drew those Green Lantern books, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, okay, you pick up a Green Lantern book, there's Emperor Dawn. So yeah.
Shout out to Anthony Davis. $20 super chat, man. I think that deserves. Appreciate that, man. Again, for all you watching who donating super chats, all funds that we get from the super chats are going to be going towards Epiphany Engine.
Now, people are bringing up Christopher Priest. They want to bring Christopher Priest back to Black Panther. I don't see the. I used to be one of those people that think that he should come back to that book, but I don't really. I think that time with Priest is past, and I think that he would have to like really be motivated to do it. And I would rather have a motivated Christopher Priest than a Priest that's coming to get a check. You know what I'm saying?
That was a perfect way to phrase it. He has to be motivated to want to write. Like in all the interviews I've seen him in, I think his attitude is everything I wanted to do with the character, I did. He doesn't really need to do Black Panther again.
Yep. So, and as far as Black Panther goes, I mean, Shirley Eden probably should get the book at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because she's created, and here's the other thing too. She's been able to do some things with T'Challa and with Wakanda lore in 3 issues.
3
that hadn't been done in a long time, and it's almost like Jeffrey Thorne-esque when we talk about the one shot that he did for the King in Black book. So who else you got that you would want to even bring in? I mean, we know Brian Edward Hill is doing Ultimate Black Panther, but I don't know how long the Ultimate Universe stuff is going to go on.
He says it's ongoing. So it's as long as people buying it, it's going to be an ongoing book. But you know, the thing is with those three writers you just mentioned, the Sherilyn Eaton, Jeffrey Thorne, Brian Edward Hill, the thing that amazes me is just the idea that we have these three viable candidates that, in my opinion, are almost interchangeable in the quality level of their writing that could write my favorite superhero. It's just a testament to how much talent we have in our community that just doesn't, like I said, we have the space to throw shine on these people, man. I just never ceases to amaze me the amount of talent that we have in our community. Just incredible talent, man. That's why we do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to Frustrated, who hit us with another super chat. Says to y'all, get the likes up, please. If you are in here, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Please, please. So one of the artists whose art I enjoy regularly is Mike Grell, white dude. And Mike Grell is his work that he did on Warlord, his Green Arrow artist. He did a lot of stuff for Valiant. And, you know, Shaman's Tears for Image. But the guy's just a classic artist all the way around. I enjoy his art. I would like to be able to look at his art or whatever. What up, Spot Jenkins? Thank you for the super chat. They trying to keep.
More money to Epiphany Engine. Every dollar that you give us goes to Epiphany Engine. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Trying to make this thing happen. Doing
So
our own.
Seco says I got Grell's autograph on Tyrock's first appearance. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, Tyrock has been around forever, and Mike Grell did create Tyrock. So
yeah,
that's what's up. So let's talk a little bit about books that came out. You know, are you reading Profane?
I am. I haven't read issue 2 yet, but I know it came out.
Okay, yeah, it's a pretty good issue. It's a weird book. It's weird. It's like a story within a story. It's a story about
without doing a spoiler.
Yeah, it's a story about a guy investigating a murder of a guy who created or invented a character. It's real. You gotta have your mind kind of into it for it to make sense. You gotta read it for real. So yeah.
There's a plot twist in there you don't want to reveal, but yeah, it's a crime noir book written in the same style as like an LA Confidential or Devil in the Blue Dress. It's written in that type of style and sort of visually kind of looking like that as well.
So what about let's see.
We go to our
one shot. Did you read that?
Which one?
The Hulk Blood Hunt one shot.
The Hulk one? No, I haven't read any of the Hulk ones.
Okay. Let's see.
My Blood Hunt experience has been very SRA. Been reading Everybody Black.
Everybody Black. So I read that. I did read it. It's pretty cool. It's a solid read. What about the Moon Knight issue 1 or issue 0? Fist of Khonshu.
I did read that. I did read that. It seems like just kind of a teaser lead up to the new Moonlight series. It's coming out. Shout out to Jed McKay, who is the new Brian Michael Bendis over at Marvel, writing every damn book and doing it fabulously. I mean, I was never really a big Moon Knight guy until I got to Jed McKay's run.
Yeah,
he's made Moon really interesting for me.
Definitely got the personality stuff out. And according to the issue 0, he's going to deal with all 3 personalities of Moon Knight, which is interesting. So this issue here, Moon Knight issue 0, Fish to Khonshu, it's definitely a Zero feel to it. Legacy number is 240. Very, very dope. And, talks about Khonshu is literally pretty much narrating this whole book for those who may want to know. And he's just talking about his fists, his sons, and his sons' allies, and how he feels about them or whatever. So, looks like the title is going to be, pretty dope to read, or whatever. So, what about Moon Man issue 3? Did you read that?
I haven't read number 3 yet. I do have it on my orders. It's on its way.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay. So yeah, a lot of
stuff.
Yeah, a lot of dope books came out, man. Let's see. I got a stack of books I'm still going through, and I picked up. And Beyond the Pale. Did you read issues 1 and 2 of that?
Oh yes, that I did. I love that book. It hasn't gone as far as I'd hoped. I'd hoped there'd be a bigger reveal in issue number 2.
Yep.
As to what's going on in the bush in Vietnam. They kind of give you a glimpse of it. But it's an original concept, so I'm digging the book. For those of you who don't know, it's basically a photojournalist, Black woman, is in the 1960s in Vietnam War investigating missing Black soldiers and what's going on in the jungle as to why they're missing.
Yep.
Anything else I tell you would be kind of a spoiler, but it's got kind of a supernatural element, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a good book. Y'all should go pick it up, check it out. So we got a lot of books coming out, pretty soon. People talk about the Storm book getting ready to come out. Looking forward to that.
Muriel Ayodele, shout out to Muriel Ayodele. Pre-order that book. The stuff, he keeps releasing stuff on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
He did a big post today where he basically shared some of his little script, a blurb from his script. That man's doing some epic stuff with the character. One of the things Richards talked about, I remember a question he asked me was, what's the one Storm run that you think classically defines a character? And I really didn't have an answer. I honestly think the answer may be what Muriel Ayodele is about to do. He's doing some epic stuff.
It would be good. It would be good. Now here's a I would say a ash can I picked up, and these are free at the shop. But if you're reading Kaya, okay, I guess the next volume of Kaya is getting ready to come out, but it's going to have a situation with her brother. She's got a brother that is going to be featured in the new comic book. But yeah, that's by Wes Craig or whatever. But yes, they put out a ash can for Kaya. The next volume of that getting ready to come out. So yeah. So yo, look, man, we about 2 hours in. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I want to thank my man Paul for hanging out with me on tonight. It's been fun. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got the Epiphany Engine stuff wrapping up Wednesday night. Tony Cottrell said it's gonna be a banger. We're gonna be here for it. We're gonna be here for all the shenanigans when this thing gets fully funded. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be pretty cool, guys. It's gonna be pretty cool. So y'all stay tuned for that.
I'm gonna go on a bit of a sabbatical.
Yes.
From Black Comic Lords for this will be my last show for a while, a long while. But I will be back, and I'll be just watching and maybe posting occasionally in the Facebook page or what have you. But I'm gonna take a little break.
Yep, gotta get that in, man. You say superheroes are bulletproof, but we need breaks.
Yes,
mortals need breaks.
I need a break.
So look, guys, again, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you for the super chats. And as we said earlier, 100% of the super chats are going to go to the Epiphany Engine project. And so again, thank you. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a hater. We good with that. Frustrated hits us with another super chat. So it is what it is. Now, Bookler says, guest host, we'll probably pop in. It'll probably be Derek, myself, and maybe Angel. We'll have a few guest appearances. Maybe we can get some of the House of Dragon to pop in or whatever. We don't know. We promise we won't tear up the engine.
I just hope you guys don't burn the house down when I'm gone.
We're not gonna burn the house down. We're gonna geek responsibly.
Look, I need everybody in the chat, all your fans, just let me know if anything crazy goes awry on the Black Comic Lords. I'm trusting that they'll hold it down. They'll do a great job.
Okay, Jada Bird asked a question. He says, "Did y'all read Papa Midnight?" Yes, I have read the limited series Papa Midnight. It's pretty dope. I've said this about Papa Midnight, that in my opinion, Papa Midnight is what Dr. Voodoo should be. In retrospect, in terms of or Shadow Man, either one. But Dr. Voodoo is very grossly underused in Marvel. But it is what it is. But yeah, Papa Midnight's pretty dope. So anyway, look, we got to get out of here. I'm going to get you guys with the benediction. And the benediction comes from Proverbs 13, the 10th chapter. It says this: only by pride comes contention, but with well-advised is wisdom. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your man Rich with the Chief Don Dada Paul. And until next time, we say peace. We'll see you when we see you. Y'all take care of yourselves. Good night.
Black Comic Lord.